everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you some of my top productivity tips, as well as how I try to make the most out of every single hour of the day. And I wanted to start off by sharing a little bit more about myself so you guys know where I'm coming from making this video. And I think where I'm sitting right now in this moment, it could be one of the busiest times of my life. So I have a full-time job as an attorney. On top of that, I also coach figure skating for the local university during the school year. And since it's the summer right now, I am actually on break from that. But on top of being a full-time attorney, I have my Instagram page that I love running. It's a passion project of mine, as well as starting this YouTube channel. So both of those things take up a lot of time. But here's the kicker. I am just a couple of weeks away from my wedding. We of course have a global pandemic, so it's been quite difficult to plan, and I've had to save a lot of those plans until the last minute. And I am moving in a couple of weeks as well, so I can live with my soon-to-be husband. With all of that going on, you may think I am absolutely crazy or I would be completely stressed, but I honestly feel like I have things pretty under control and feel like it's because of all of the different things that I do to maximize my productivity and maximize every single hour of my day. I can't wait to share these tips with you. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna jump right into tip number 1, which is to keep a running to-do list. I don't know how I didn't think of this earlier, to keep one spot where I maintain all of the different things that I need to get done. I don't care if that's using the Notes app on your computer. That's actually what my fiance loves to do, and I think it works really well for him. I'm more of a paper person. I like to keep it all in one notebook together, and I have different sections with different headings. So again, for me, I have my full-time job, so I'm gonna have a section that has all of my work to do items, and it is just a running list that I can cross off as I go and keep adding to. Beyond my work list, I have things for Sophisticated Organization, which includes my business, my Instagram, my YouTube, any brand collaborations, all of that type of stuff has its own to-do list. I also have a separate section for all of the personal items. Because of the upcoming wedding, I have a whole wedding to-do list. That helps keep me on top of everything. I'm not looking around for different scraps of paper where I wrote something on a sticky note. It's all in one spot, which we are going to refer back to with tip number 2, and that is to manage your calendars. I'm not gonna push you in either direction of paper planning versus digital planning. It's all about what works best for you. But what's important here in managing your calendar is making sure that you have a grasp of your annual calendar, your monthly calendar, your weekly calendar, and even what's happening on a daily basis. Starting on an annual calendar, I actually like to make sure that type of stuff is digital. That means birthdays, anniversaries, any reoccurring events, that type of stuff, I like to have digitally on my computer and my phone so it's easy access. It automatically reoccurs, so next year I have it in there. So when I move down to the monthly level, that I kind of have a combination of paper and digital planning, and I sit down at the beginning of every month, plan that out, and then we come to our weekly plans. Events and appointments, that stuff I'm keeping digitally, but I sit down with my paper planner at the beginning of every week. Now we're referring back to tip number 1, and I use my running list to try and see what needs to be accomplished that week. And once I figure out what needs to be accomplished that week, I'm gonna kind of write it out into my weekly plan. Then we move down another layer, because I don't know about you, but a week at a time is too much for my brain to process. It's going to probably allow you to procrastinate a little bit more. If you have a task that you need to get done in a certain week, you might be the type of person to wait till Sunday. So if you plan things day by day, you're gonna avoid some of that procrastination. The daily planning brings me to tip number 3, which is time blocking. And this has been absolutely life-changing for me. So I don't know how I didn't implement this earlier, but for those of you that don't know, time blocking basically means breaking your day off into different segments or blocks and giving those blocks titles and tasks that need to be completed within a set amount of time. So it's easiest if you create a time block schedule that you can use Monday through Friday, and it's consistent every single week. You might either throw to the wayside your time blocking schedule for Saturdays and Sundays, or you might adapt a different schedule for the weekends. But regardless, you're gonna wanna break up your day in a way that works for you. So for me, I like to have a morning block where I have breakfast, I'm getting getting dressed for the day, I might fit in a quick workout. I use this as personal time to check social media, post on Instagram if I need to that day. I actually have a full morning routine that I posted not that long ago, which I will link above in the cards right here if you want to check that out and see what my full morning time block looks like. But after that, since I have a full-time job, I definitely need to dedicate the entire morning after I get dressed and ready to working. So I call that my morning work block. After that, I'm gonna have a lunch break where I can take care of some more personal tasks. On top of having lunch, I'll have an afternoon work block. And then in the evening, I will divide that usually into 2 separate blocks. So this is gonna look different for everybody. If, for example, you are a stay-at-home mom, your schedule is gonna look vastly different than mine as somebody who works full-time and doesn't have kids. But it's all about chunking different tasks that fit together in the same block. So if you are that stay-at-home mom and you need to run a bunch of errands, try putting that in the same block as maybe when you drop your kid off at school or when you pick them up. And that can be your outing block. So think it through, try and put like things together, and you'll see how this all magically works into a daily schedule that will work for you. And one of the other things that I love about time blocking is that you dedicate yourself to that task or those series of tasks for that amount of time. And the second that time block is done, you're done. You move on to the next thing, you leave that where it was, and it keeps you on the right path. And if you don't have those set cutoffs, you might have your first task just kind of bleed in throughout the day and there's no cutoff, and then you start falling behind on other things you need to get done. So that hard deadline really helps me personally. So the next tip that I have for you is working in batches. So a lot of times I will get questions from you guys asking how I'm getting everything done when it seems like it's a really busy week for me. And that's because I work in batches. And this can apply to so many different areas of your life. So for example, with my YouTube and Instagram content, I plan everything well in advance. I take all of my Instagram photos in advance. I draft captions. I draft all of my hashtags. I film YouTube videos in advance. And all of that is so if I'm having a busy time in my life, I don't have to stress about those types of things because I'm ahead of schedule. Again, that can apply to your work life, your personal life. I've done it with wedding planning. It makes so much more sense to sit down when you have the opportunity to and work on that one task and get as much done as possible so you can keep reaping those rewards for the days, weeks, maybe even months to come. So my next tip for you is to prioritize what's important. So this is actually one that took me a while to figure out. And it took my then boyfriend at the time, a couple of years ago, sitting me down and saying, why are you doing all of these things? Why are you spending your time a part of different organizations if it's not making you happy and it's not helping or benefiting others in some way? And I really sat there and thought, why am I doing that? Why am I running myself ragged to run to different women's organization meetings after a long day of work and commuting and coaching skating and all of these other things? If I'm not getting anything out of it, they're not getting anything out of it because I'm not putting my full effort into it and I'm not enjoying it. I really took a critical look at the way I was spending my time and dropped the things that I didn't enjoy. I feel like I have so much more free time and it really feels good to do the things that you want to do with your day. So prioritizing what's important not only means thinking about your health, your fitness. If you have a full-time job, of course, that needs to be a priority, but it also means thinking about prioritizing the things that are important to you and the things that you enjoy. So take a critical look at your schedule. Think about the different things that you're involved with. This could go the other way for you. Instead of cutting back on some of the things you do, maybe you realize you're not doing enough of what you enjoy. And that's fine to add things to your plate if that's what you want to do and you want to spend your time doing those things. Just think about how you want to spend your time. So my last tip for you is don't aim for perfection. You can't do it all. No matter what somebody on the internet or one of your friends makes it look like, if they make it seem like they are doing it all, trust me, they're not. Nobody can. So take a step back, give yourself a little bit of grace, and realize that you can't be perfect. You cannot give 100% to everything, especially if you are somebody like me that likes to take on a bunch of different things. There just aren't enough hours in the day. day. Remind yourself it's okay not to be perfect. Sometimes your house gets messy. Sometimes you don't get one of those things on your to-do list done, but that's okay. You just roll it over to the next day, shake it off, and forget about it. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave a comment below and I can help elaborate upon any of these things that I shared with you guys today. I can always create more in-depth videos if that's what you'd like as well. Just leave a comment below letting me know. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, I will see you guys later.